Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No. It is not the 1974 horror classic. This is the 2022 distributed by Netflix movie. Let's get into it. As I said, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is from 2022. It lasts about an hour and 20 minutes. Not long. Mercifully. Yeah. It was made in 2020, but the test screenings were not so good, so they didn't distribute it in cinemas. Instead, it was sold to and distributed by Netflix. Oh gosh. It found an audience. It has a following. How? Well, let's talk about it. I would say, at this point, let's look at the posters, but being a Netflix movie, there aren't a great deal of posters, so let's look at this main one, I guess. It's fine. It's alright. It lets you know what sort of movie you're in for thematically, and the title carries all the weight, to be honest. Yeah. What's the tagline? The face of madness returns. Alright, that's pretty good. The movie opens with a brief recap of the original movie. It shows a few of the events. It shows there was a survivor named Sally, and then we're cut to modern day, 2022. Yeah, well, it's not that long ago. Such a bygone era. We meet our main players, Mel, Lila, Dante, and Ruth. We watched this with subtitles, and anytime Ruth speaks, it doesn't say Ruth, it says Dante's partner. Give the woman her credit. That's an odd choice. It's like Netflix or whoever make the subtitles are saying, don't worry about learning this character's name. She doesn't matter. And she doesn't. Well, she's kind of crucial in what happens. Anyway, these are four young influencers who have gathered up some money and got the attention of some investors. They want to revive this old ghost town. Silent Hill. No, that's a different movie. Harlow. Well, Harlow to you. Yeah, no. Ghost town of Harlow. So, they've got some investors coming in. They've gone ahead. And as soon as they get to town, they instantly piss off some guy because he's carrying a gun. And Lila hates guns. She's a victim, she's a survivor of a skill shooting, and she detests guns. I wonder if that'll change. Well, the guy who pissed off was a guy called Rick, who seems to be like one of about 3 people in this town. He's got the keys to all the properties. So the streets are deserted, the town is falling apart, and all the buildings are empty, except one. Yeah, the orphanage. So the old orphanage is inhabited by an older woman. Yeah, crazy old lady. From Silent Hill. Oh yeah, Alice Krieg. Sure, that's right. Well, yeah, she is a rather eccentric lady in this movie. She says she's not leaving the orphanage, she's lived here all her life, and she keeps saying it's our house. Dante says, forget this, I'm going to get the police, you're getting kicked out. Yeah, and then her son appears at the top of the stairs and he's like, just staring. He's just in shadows. Yeah, but he's a big guy. She says, it's okay son, go upstairs, I'll sort this out. And then the cops come, try to drag her off, and she has a heart attack. Yeah. So the cops use their van as a makeshift ambulance, stick her in the back. Ruth decides to go with them because Dante and Mel have to be there to meet the investors. By the way, when the investors arrive, they're all like 20. Who are these rich kids? I don't know, but they're all young actually. And Lila just hangs about. She goes and hangs out with Rick, who she hated from the minute she set eyes on them, and then they're best pals and they're talking about guns, and then we're made to believe they've had sex. They've not, it's just a little fake out to annoy her sister. Yeah, it's a bizarre choice in this movie. The guy's like twice her age. Anyway, so Lila's wandering about town doing her own thing, hanging out with Rick. Mel and Dante are welcoming the arriving investors, and Ruth has gone with the sheriff, his deputy, Alice Krieg, and her giant son in this makeshift ambulance. Yeah, and on the way to the hospital, Alice Krieg croaks it. Yeah, she dies. And yeah, I think the deputy actually says, while her son's sitting right there, I think he says something like, "Ah, Sheriff, I think she's croaked it." And the son, well, he doesn't take this well. He goes mental. He grabs the deputy's wrist, snaps it, and uses his wrist bone to stab him. It's nuts. The deputy tries to get his gun out, but a stray bullet takes out the driver, the sheriff, and then the van crashes. After a while, Ruth wakes up in the passenger seat. She's the only one left alive, except for the big guy, who, by the way, we know now is Leatherface. Yeah, she sees him outside of the van. In the wing mirror, she watches him, and she sees him cutting off the deputy's face and wearing it like a mask. What an absolute lunatic. What's he doing? Why is he doing that? I really don't know. But that's what he does. I don't know if it's the deputy's face or if it's his mum's face. Gross. This film is more about gross out than the original film. The original film was about terror, and it was genuinely terrifying. There wasn't loads of blood. There was quite a bit of blood, but not gallons of blood or like gratuitous kills for the sake of splatter and gore. It was more about fear and, oh my god, this could actually happen, rather than someone being killed in a gruesome and inventive way. It was like guys getting hit in the head by a hammer and women being put on meat hooks and lovely stuff. I've never seen it and I don't want to. It is a classic of the horror genre, but this is a different beast. A cracked beast. Anyway, Leatherface kills Ruth, yet just puts his hand around her neck, takes a shard of glass and cuts her belly open. And she's pretty chill about it. There is no reaction from her while he's doing this. I mean, I think the implication is that, well, he's choking her so she can't really do much, but she would still do more than just. Back in town, Dante and the investors are taking a look around. Mel questions Dante on whether they actually do own the orphanage. Turns out they don't, so they've killed that old woman for no reason. So the investors are mingling, having a nice time. Mel and Dante go into the orphanage to see if they can find the deed. They do find it, which is proof that Alice Krieg still owned it. They did not. They've killed her for no reason. Anyway, she goes upstairs, Nell. Dante stays downstairs, goes into the kitchen, and meets Leatherface. Yeah, who cuts his face in half. Yeah, he attacks him with a knife. Mel sees this and hides in a closet upstairs. Leatherface comes up. He opens the closet and he doesn't even see her. He just wants one of his nun's dresses to smell. Weirdo. Well. Rick finds Dante dead or nearly dead, goes into the house with his gun drawn, and meets Leatherface in the upstairs bedroom. By now, Nell is hiding under the bed. She watches it all. Rick gets his leg broken, and then he has a pretty, he fights Leatherface more than anyone else in history ever has. And then he is killed. Yeah. He gets a shard of glass to the throat. Dead. And then his head caved in with a hammer. Yeah. Sally watches as Leatherface heads back into the town towards the investors. Yeah, that a storm has come over. Actually means it's raining, so all investors go in the bus. And also, the storm has made it night time. Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but it's suddenly night, so they're all in the bus. Now, before she died, Ruth managed to get a little SOS distress signal sent out on the sheriff's radio. Yes, the sun guy outside of town gets the message, and he's like, oh, I better make the call. Phones someone called Hardesty and says, hey, can I speak to Hardesty? And whoever Hardesty's TA is, or personal secretary is, puts him through to Hardesty. Not an executive in an office who needs a secretary, but actually an old woman in a barn cutting a pig open. Yeah. We find out that Hardesty is actually Sally from the original movie. Different actress though. Yeah. The original one died. Oh right. Right, okay, well that's probably why she was recast. Obviously. Yeah. Anyway, she gets a call. She hears Leatherface is back, so she packs a bag with a shotgun, gets in her jeep, and heads off. She's going to take him down again. Yeah, even though she never took him down before. She just ran off screaming. And really bizarre that she's now this vengeance hunter. She says she's been waiting 50 years to take down Leatherface, and this is finally her chance. She's finally found him. He's been in that orphanage the whole time. By the way, orphanage, Alice Craig says, we've always lived here, me and my boys. Have they? I thought the first one was in a farmhouse. Yeah, that's true. The first movie, A, there's no mother. 2, they are in a farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. No orphanage, no building in a town. No. This movie just does what it wants. Back in town, Leatherface enters the bus. Everyone just pulls out their mobile phone. This is a good scene. This is the trailer scene really. And yeah, it's pretty good. They take out their phones and some guy says,
try anything and you're cancelled, bro.
He kills everyone on the bus except Lila and Nell, who are also with us right now. Yeah. That's lucky, isn't it? Yeah. It's funny that there are only 2 people who survive out of about 30 people in this bus. Only those 2 survive. Get into the bathroom and manage to escape through the roof. What kind of dust toilet has got an escape hatch in the roof? I don't know, but this one has. So now it's Leatherface stalking Lila and Mel, who are sisters by the way, I don't know if we mentioned that. Stalking them through the town of Harlow. Yeah, and then a big car pulls up, and it's Alice. She's like, get in. It's him, isn't it? He's back. Leatherface. I've waited 50 years. To do what? Runaway screening again? Well, she says, I can't leave here until I take him down. So she locks them in the car and goes hunting for Leatherface. Idiot. Well, she catches up with him. He's got no idea who she is. She says the names of the victims from the first movie, her brother, her friends, and she says, tell me you remember me. He's got no clue. He's a dinwit. An imbecile. He is a bit of an imbecile, yeah.
Remember me now? I'm the one who got away, and I'm here to make sure you don't.
Anyway, she shoots him. No effect. Well, it looks like it has an effect. Just not enough of an effect. Yeah, because then he just puts his chainsaw right through her. Lifts her up in the air, shredding every internal organ in her body. Mel and Lila are like, oh, forget this. Let's just take the car and drive off. Yeah, they do. And then they instantly crash. Absolute idiots. Yeah, well, I think they try to run him down, and he sort of dodges, makes him crash. No, they're just idiots. Right, okay. They come to. Mel is trapped in the driver's seat. She says to Lila, look, he's going to come here. He's going to kill us both. You run off. I'll stay here and die. So Lila, loving sister that she is like, okay. And she heads off. She runs away. Leatherface approaches Mel. He's going to kill her with his chainsaw. Lila appears behind him with Rick's machine gun. Pulls the trigger, and it's empty. So Leatherface chases her across town. Yeah. He catches up to her. He's about to kill her, and then once again he's shot by a shotgun blast. Yeah, and Sally isn't dead after all, she's just dying. And she's like, hey, don't run. He'll haunt you forever. Aye, no bother. No, I'm going to run off and go and live my life. Forget staying here and fighting this unkillable monster. Well, she decides maybe I should stay. She shouldn't. Anyway, after Leatherface was shot, this time, he disappears. Lila can hear Mel screaming for help. She's still trapped in the car. She ignores that and just goes hunting Leatherface. Yeah, she follows him to this building and he tackles her into a pool. Don't know what's going on. Neither do I. It's pretty relevant because they both get out of the pool within seconds. It's not like, oh no, this is a big moment of peril. It's pointless, really. And then Leatherface is going to kill her again. But then Nell has somehow got out of the car and jumps on Leatherface's back. Yeah. This gives Lila a chance to pick up the shotgun again, shoots Leatherface a couple of times, he staggers back in very cinematic fashion. But then once again, she's out of ammo. Nell picks up the chainsaw and cuts him in half. Yeah, she slices him up the middle. He's definitely dead. He falls into the tool. Definitely dead. Right? Right? Right.
Wrong.
Then next thing you know, it's sunrise. Yeah, so Nell and Lila get into Dante's car, hit the sat-nav, type in home or whatever, and to an autopilot, and drive off. Yeah. As they drive off, Leatherface appears, pulls Mel out of the car, and as Lila watches, cuts off her sister's head. Yet, and then does a little dance that is so bad. They're trying to recreate the dance from the first movie, but in the original movie it was terrifying and worrying how a person would be behaving like this. It's shown his frustration, his rage, his, lack of intelligence, really. This is how he handles upset, and well, I think all the nerders and slaughtering did that. Well, that's true. But in this one, it's just like dance for the camera. It's rubbish. It's a really weird ending. It's unnecessary. If this had happened and then Lila had woken up in the passenger seat and be like, whew, that bit was just a dream. And then even Leatherface jumps up in front of the car, credits, something like that would have been fine. But this was unnecessary, pointless, cruel. It is cruel and it's just not very good. Doesn't work for me. But that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022. Have you got any trivia? Yes. So, the opening narration is done by John Larroquette. He also did the opening narration in the original movie. Oh, that's cool. And the 2003 remake. Oh, I forgot there's a remake. Any good? I don't think I've seen it. Do you want to? Not really. Any more trivia? One more thing. When we meet Sally in this movie, and she's in the barn, and then we see her house in the background and she's loading up her car. Yeah. And that is the house and the barn from Randall Last Blood. Alright. Yeah, interesting. Pretty cool. Best thing about this movie. Well, let us know your thoughts. Do you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022? Maybe this is your first exposure to Leatherface and this world, in which case I can see, people enjoying it, but compared to the original, for me, it's not there. I didn't like it. Cruel for cruelty's sake. Some interesting, no, actually no, I was going to say some interesting kills, but there's not. Just standard. Death. But let us know what you think, and hit like, hit subscribe. Watch another video. You're cancelled, bro.